Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today I am showing you some meals of the week on the cheap. We spent $12 at Walmart. I have a variety of meals for you. I do like to say in these types of videos, if you are experiencing any food insecurity in your home, to dial your local 211. Reach out to those resources. They are there to help you. If you're feeling uncomfortable doing that, please reach out to me. My email is always linked in the description box down below, and I will do my best to try and help you. If you have any questions about these recipes, please make sure to drop them in the comment box down below. If you're new here, we would love it if you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you introduce yourself in the comment box as well. And without further ado, we're going to get right into this video. Okay everyone, here's the haul. In the haul I have included options, so plant-based eaters, gluten-free people, standard American diet people. I wanted to give you options, so I will show you what we actually bought. We went a little over $12.50, so I'd say this is close to a $13 meal plan. Remember, this is for 2 people, but it really depends on your portion sizes and what you eat. Please keep an open mind about this before you comment. Please, if you have any positive questions or comments, those are all welcome, but if you have something negative to say, leave it out of the comments. And yeah, we're gonna get right into this. So they have a variety of vegetables that are frozen as well as canned. They're mixed vegetables, pretty steadfast at 84 cents. I always buy a bunch of those. I'm trying to freeze dry them. Big shout to Grant for that suggestion. And then we have Brussels sprouts. Those are $1.24, but they pack a punch when you're on a plant-based diet, so I went and picked those up. Optional, you could grab some frozen corn if you're just not into that, or some frozen broccoli, which still is $1. And then over here, I always get white corn tortillas. This is kind of a haul of what I always get classically. That's kind of just stayed the same. Not kind of, it has. It's stayed the same in price. Maybe varies a few pennies every now and again. But corn tortillas, white ones, you get 30 of them in here. There's many things that you can do with corn tortillas. And then 5-pound bag of flour, still $1.76. The unbleached and the regular are the exact same price, and you can do a lot with flour if you can consume it. Yeast, they come in packets of 3. I divided it, so this would be 19 cents for this. Of course, if you got it in a larger bottle like I have in my prepper pantry, you could totally just grab and go from that, and it would be cheaper. Tomato sauce is going to be 38 cents, the no salt added for 8 ounces. I always do 1 can of tomato sauce, 1 of the cans of water just to double it, and then add my seasonings. You can do a lot with tomato sauce. And then the Colby Jack cheese, $2. Used to be $1.88, used to be $1.38 looking at my price from last year. But $2. So if you want cheese in this, you totally could. I, of course, am not going to eat it, but my family might, so this is optional. Another one is going to be diced potatoes. These are 52 cents, and the black beans are 72 cents. You, of course, could get a bag of potatoes, but this week we don't really need that much, so we're just doing the 52-cent can. You can flavor these up, and I think they taste great. The large white count of eggs is $1.88 right now. Last week it was $2.22, so it just really depends. If you are on the Kroger app, I've been getting free cartons of eggs probably twice a month. That's like my bonus, or a free sausage, or a free box of rice or something. I don't know, but it's always random. But eggs I can always count on free for a month. If you have chickens, of course, that's really helpful for you. My neighbor actually does, so we get a lot of our eggs from her, and we trade, we barter, because that is the neighborly thing to do. I wanted to touch on that. If you ever were in an emergency situation, I would hope that you could look to your community and they could help you. Because that's what's going to get us through it, honestly. Just being together in this community. There's such a great divide, and I think we have one common factor, and that is community. If you are in a supportive community, that's amazing. If you're not, maybe look into somewhere near you that can be supportive to you. So we always trade our flowers for eggs, or herbs for eggs. Seeds are really inexpensive, and I plant a flower that she really loves. So we trade some snapdragons, and she gives us some eggs. eggs. Over here is going to be an onion at 19 cents. I was really excited about that. Sometimes they're a little pricier. If you are not into eggs and you don't eat eggs like myself, you could get their tofu. It's $1.72 and a lot cheaper than eggs. That's just an option if you can consume soy. If not, use some garbanzo beans. And then over here, I have two options for this kind of protein. A can of chicken, which is gonna be $1.72. The smoked salmon is $2.97. And this is like a little, I don't know what to call it. This is a skinless and boneless tiny smoked salmon. So either or here, I don't know what my husband wants, so I'll have to ask him. And then over here, the quinoa, while better for you, is just a little bit more pricier. This is gonna be $2.22. You could get a 5-pound bag of rice for $1.72, $1.19 sometimes. That actually has been varying in price depending on what Walmart I go to. So that's a little unique for me recently. I know we all vary with different taxes and counties and things like that, but rice can be super cheap or not super cheap. The instant rice is going to be on the pricier side just because it's more convenient. Of course, that's how the economy works, I feel like, but that's okay. And the quinoa is going to be better for you. So it really depends. I'm going to go over the meal plan. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with words recently, but I'm going to go over the meal plan, kind of show you my general outline. It is an outline. I might vary from it, so just be prepared for that. Okay, I do apologize in advance for my handwriting. If you have any specific questions, let me know. For breakfast, we're gonna do huevos taquitos, so like my take on huevos rancheros. We're gonna do black beans, onion, veggies, potato, eggs, not eggs with mine. Cheese is an option in this if you wanted to put that in there and make a enchilada sauce with the tomato sauce, and we're going to use that for 2 different recipes. And then we're also going to do savory pancakes. I did not get a banana or any type of fruit this week, so you could go that path and do regular pancakes, but it's super inexpensive. And then for lunch/dinner, because these are interchangeable as well as breakfast, honestly, but fried veggie rice or quinoa, it depends on how I'm going to add this up. So I feel like the quinoa is going to be better for me. And I saw these little squares on Instagram. I don't know, someone on Instagram did a little reel. It was super cute, and she made these little triangle patties, and that was her take on fried rice. Instead of having it in a dish, they were just little bite-sized pieces. I don't have the mechanism that she used, but I think we can get crafty and it will be something unique because I do a lot of fried rice on the channel. And then we have buffalo chicken or salmon or black bean burgers with homemade buns, and then we can serve that with some fried Brussels sprouts, maybe some chilled quinoa salad. I'm not sure yet what we're gonna do for that, but when it comes to sides, we're gonna have those Brussels sprouts, we'll have extra rice, and then we'll also make some fresh bread. I love fresh bread. I grew up on like butter bread or like bread dipped in ranch, which looking back is probably not the best, but I am alive and well, so bread is delicious. I love it. If you can consume bread, good for you. This one's gonna be easy. And then I'm gonna take 6 of the eggs and I'm gonna make egg salad for everybody else, and then chickpea salad for me, or black bean, depending on what bean I use here. And then we're gonna do enchilada quinoa nachos with the rest of the corn tortillas, and we're gonna place that over top, maybe do some cheese. It really depends on what you want to do, but I haven't done any of these before, and I really try and keep it unique and different every time I do one of these challenges. So I'm excited. Let's get into these recipes. I'm gonna do some a meal prep style, so it's easier for me to grab and go during the week now that I'm a stay-at-home mom and we shall say a full-time housewife at this point / homesteader, because that garden takes quite a bit of my time, but it is the best for our family right now. Honestly, having that food security in the garden is really important to me, so I love it. No complaints here. Let's get into the cooking. Okay, so we are starting on the taquitos, and then I'm also going to boil the eggs for the egg salad. We have 1/4 of the onion. We have the whole can of potatoes, whole can of black beans. I rinsed both of them, but we'll probably only use a fourth of each. We're gonna fry that in a pan with 5 of the eggs, a little bit of water, and then we're gonna do some spices, just salt, pepper, and garlic. Honestly, nothing crazy on the spice front for this video, but I did want to say that we need to save 1 egg for the burgers later on in the week for like lunches and such, and then we're gonna save some of those corn tortillas for my version of the burgers, so a binder for each. But this is really easy. You just fry it in a pan, make the scramble, and then we're gonna put them in the corn tortillas, and those will be our taquitos. I just have my can of tomato. I'm gonna put some water in there, and then I'm gonna put a few spices in there. You could do taco seasoning to make this like an enchilada, but I think we're just gonna do salt, pepper, and garlic to keep it pretty basic.
When the streams are getting strong, just hold on to me. I'm your lighthouse, I'm the sun against your dark clouds. I will always be your guiding light. I'm your lighthouse, I'm the sun against your dark clouds. I will always be.
All right, now that that is done, the eggs are still boiling. I boil them for about 12 minutes at a roaring boil, and then I add them to an ice water bath. But in the meantime, I am going to cook the quinoa so it is nice and fluffy. I have 1 of these cups of quinoa to 2 cups of water. You could, of course, use broth if this was in the budget. You could use a curry sauce, an enchilada sauce, really anything, but I am making this into 2 different flavors for the recipes, so I'm going to keep it plain. You want to bring it to a boil and then reduce to a simmer and cover it for around 20 minutes, and then that is how I get fluffy quinoa every single time. We're going to make some enchilada quinoa, and then we're going to do some fried quinoa, so just veggies, kind of like my take on fried rice. I was attempting to make those little crispy balls, I guess you could call them, but it just wasn't working out, so I kept it as a separate dish. So here's the quinoa right now. I am going to put it in just 2 different bowls here. You could do whatever you wanted here, but I'm going to keep it in 2 different bowls and keep it meal prepped in the refrigerator so we can snack on it. But this is great. It's super filling and it is good for you, which is important. I have those black beans and potatoes left. I'm going to add all of that to this half of the quinoa and then the rest of the enchilada sauce. And I chose frozen corn, and that was it. I mixed it all together. You can put these over top of the corn tortillas. I've done that before on the channel where I cut them into triangles and baked them. You just want to keep an eye on it. I'm not going to show you again because I've actually done it quite a few times, but you cut the corn tortillas into triangles and then you bake them at 400 for around 10 minutes, flipping halfway. I'm showing you here that you could add the chicken breast to this if you wanted to. I'm not going to because my husband thinks it's fine without it. He usually doesn't even add cheese. Sometimes he adds guacamole or sour cream, but really, this is amazing if you have not tried it already. After this, I'm going to move on to the fried quinoa. So that is just the other half of the quinoa. It has Brussels sprouts and mixed vegetables. You can add soy sauce to this. You can get packets for free almost anywhere. You will see that in this video that I just pick up extra packets of mayo, mustard, sugar, soy sauce. You could ask a neighbor for this, or most people have this kind of thing on hand. So that is all I'm going to say about that.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by,
Life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself.
All right, now that that is sorted, I have diced up my eggs, and here is where I know some complaints might happen. I have green onion here that I grew in the garden, as well as the celery, and I asked my husband to ask for an extra pickle when he got his hamburger at McDonald's this week. So I kind of cheated a little bit. He also asked for 2 mayo packets and 1 mustard. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, just eat the eggs boiled like that on the fresh bread. I'm not really sure, but I always like to add in things like that because there are ways to add flavor without really spending a ton. You are purchasing from these restaurants and stores, and you are allowed to have extra condiments or an extra pickle. They get a little testy when you ask for an extra protein, or in my experience, if you're a plant-based eater and you ask them to sub out the meat for avocado, you get charged extra, which is ridiculous. But I've worked in restaurants all my life. It's totally okay to do that. Here's that egg salad. It was really tasty. So I heard. My son really loved it. I think I remember what egg salad tasted like. If you are not in the business of eating eggs, just swap it out for some garbanzo beans and just don't use the mayo. But now we're moving on to the bread and the rolls. We're just doing that toast, like I said, and then the rolls. So I'm actually doing 2 yeast packets, and then I am adding 2 tablespoons of sugar here. You could also add sugar packets if you wanted, just 2 sugar packets, but you need something sweet so that yeast eats up all of that warm water, and it just makes this really yummy goodness. So I'm going to add all of that together, and then I'm actually adding around 2 cups of warm water. It really depends on every element, the temperature of your home, where you're at in the world, I don't know, the quality of your yeast, but this is how I make my bread. It's really delicious. I am not good at baking, to be honest with you, but this bread is good. My family likes it, and that's what's important. So I'm going to stir that all up, and then I'm going to cover it for 10 minutes, come back and add some flour, and then it's a series of covering and adding and covering and adding and waiting and being impatient, but it is worth it. So here's where it gets interesting. I add 4 cups of flour total, but I add 3 now, stir it up, let it rise for 20 minutes while the oven is preheating. I'm preheating my oven to 350. So I put this bowl over top of the oven and let it rise in the warmth. I uncover it and add that last cup of flour, totaling 4. I mix that together, let it rise again for another 30 minutes, and then it's good to go. So now that it has risen, I went ahead and poked just a hole in it and let it kind of sink. I am splitting it in half, and I am making these into little balls, and they can be the buns for the week. You could do this however you want. I'm not really a perfectionist when it comes to baking, which is probably why I'm not good at it, but they taste delicious. I go ahead and cover it for another 20 minutes. Like I said, it's just a waiting game. And then I go ahead and put it in the oven. So I realize it has preheated for like 40 minutes now. If you want to conserve some energy and really wait, because it's only going to take 10 to 15 minutes to preheat, then go ahead and do that. But I'm just realizing that now. So here is everything when it comes out. It is going to taste amazing. I'm super excited. And last but not least, I do have a unique recipe, and you may find it redundant, but my husband really loves it. You're going to need that can of chicken. You're going to need 3 corn tortillas, and you're going to need about a half cup of corn, as well as some hot sauce. Another item you can ask for, Taco Bell. I don't know if you've heard of it, but they give a ridiculous amount of hot sauce packs packets we find. I don't know if that's a thing, if anyone works there. Let me know. Is that part of your training? I'm not sure, but it is appreciated to us preppers that like to have some flavor in their life. But you're going to put the corn tortillas, the hot sauce, and you're going to put some of the corn into a food processor, blend it up, and then you are going to add some canned chicken and kind of flatten it out on top of a baking dish, and it's just going to create this crumbly mixture. I'm going to put it in the oven at 400 for around 20 minutes, and those little tiny corn points from the tortillas make this crispy kind of deliciousness that you can put over top of any of those rice dishes, or like my husband enjoys, you can put it with some cheese on top of those buns and make a sandwich out of it. So it's up to you. This is not necessary. I've done chicken salad before with this canned chicken. I've done buffalo chicken meatballs. I've used this chicken in every way, shape, or form, but I've never shown this one, and it's very easy and has a lot of flavor. Alrighty everyone, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you got some inspiration to shop on the cheap this week for your family. Let me know how prices are in your area, if they compare to mine, if they're similar, some things that you would have done differently, anything at all. Please drop that down in the comments down below, even if you just want to say hi. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.